List making is fun, tricky, and always contentious. But what's year-end without a list that we can argue about? According to Omax Media, approximately 112 Hindi films released in 2022. This includes dubbed South films. Incredibly, the box office share of South films is almost 35%. Pre-pandemic, this used to be less than 15%. Clearly, the landscape is shifting drastically. Here are a few of my favorite Hindi films, including those that were released as Hindi dubs. At number 5, Vikram. To watch Vikram is to be bathed in testosterone. But writer-director Lokesh Kanagraj seasons the unrelenting machismo with solid writing, umpteen CT-mar moments, great action sequences, and a triangle of leading men who make every scene a set piece. Consider the terrific introduction of Vijay Sethupathi as the vicious Santhanam who runs a drug cartel with his family. Or that scene in which Fahad Fasil's Amar sees his decapitated wife, or that interval scene in which Kamal Hassan, aka Vikram, reveals that he's still alive. There's also Surya as Rolex, perhaps the most anticipated baddie in recent movie history, and Agent Tina. She dies in the line of duty, but I'm hopeful that Lokesh will create some space for a woman in this exciting universe. At number 4, Ponniyin Selvan 1. I'll admit that this one is a bit of a cheat. The Hindi dub of PS1 left me unsatisfied and even a little bit confused, so I revisited the original Tamil version when it dropped on streaming and was swept away by its scale, sweep, and artistry. First, consider the sheer longevity of Mani Ratnam's breathtaking talent. His first film Pallavi Anupallavi was released almost 40 years ago in 1983. Then think about the enormity of the task at hand. PS1 is based on Kalki's 5-volume historical fiction novel. This is a book so beloved that generations consider it the best work in Tamil literature. To translate that into a 2-part film is an enormous challenge, but to do it with such elegance, depth, and exquisite beauty is the mark of a real master. When I asked him if PS1 was the Tamil Game of Thrones, Mani Ratnam smiled and said, maybe Game of Thrones is the English Ponniyin Selvan. He might be right. At number 3, Gangubai Kathiawadi. Pain is an elixir in Sanjay Leela Bhansali's cinema. It powers him as an artist. It polishes his characters to shine as they suffer. In tragedy, they acquire a sheen that no joy can give them. Look at Gangubai, a woman sold into sex work by her own lover. She's horrifically abused physically and emotionally, but she still remains a force of nature, unapologetic, steely, and determined to fight for her rights. This film is, as most SLB films are, beautiful, but the visuals are soaked in sadness, which makes them even more piercing. One of my favorite moments is the song Meri Jaan, captured in a continuous shot, in which Gangu, out with her young boyfriend Afshan, goes through a gamut of emotions. She's never known tenderness with a man. This is a meeting which is not business, and she doesn't know what to do. Eventually, she just has him stroke her head. It's heartbreaking and lovely. At number 2, Kantara. My first response to Kantara was just this stunned silence. The imagery and action of the climax was so mesmerizing that I couldn't get out of my seat. A superb mix of folklore and masala, Kantara is layered and emotionally resonant, but also dramatically propulsive and thrilling. Director, writer, leading man Rishabh Shetty creates a haunting story rooted in the traditions of coastal Karnataka, which also addresses caste, the environment, spirituality, and loss. I suspect Shiva isn't done yet, and there will be a sequel. I can't wait. And my favorite film of the year is RRR. Over the course of the year, I've seen RRR several times, and in every viewing, I still find myself cheering and applauding. When Komaram Bhim makes that incredible leap with his animals. When Bhim and Ram, who can't walk because his knees have been so badly damaged by British soldiers, become one fighting machine with Bhim loading the guns and Ram shooting. And especially when the two of them dance in exquisite sync to Natu Natu. The exhilaration built into every frame by S.S. Rajamouli simply doesn't fade. RRR is grandiose, jaw-dropping, largely gravity-free, and relentlessly rousing. It is why we go to the movies. And here are a few honorable mentions. The first half of KGF Chapter 2, a delicious and deadly combination of swagger and storytelling. Bhedia and an action hero, both were smart and witty. Darlings, a terrific dark comedy about a toxic marriage. And Kala, a portrait of a singer doomed by her mother and her personal demons. I hope 2023 gives us films filled with audacity, ambition and originality. Happy New Year to all of you.